up, everybody? This is Jude from Section 122 on ArgosEndzone.com. Time for Week 14 action as the Argos travel to the nation's capital to take on the Redblacks. As always, you can press the See More button on the YouTube channel down below me here to jump to the chapter you'd like to see. But we're going to get things started with a look back 2 weeks ago at what happened to the Argos last game. Argos hosted the Ticats in a return matchup from the Labor Day Classic and lost a squeaker to Hamilton. It's really easy to look back and say it just came down to a couple of plays, but quite frankly, some Argos penalties probably kept them from at least tying this game in regulation, if not winning outright. But some great efforts from Torrey Gurley, as always. There was just a mental error as the Argos recovered a fumble. And I can't remember who had it now, but he was not touched when he was down on the ground, so when he got up to celebrate, the ball was slapped out of his hands and recovered by Hamilton. It's just little mental errors like this, which is what separates good teams from great teams. My only hope is that they're going to learn from these mistakes. Well, apparently they have, as Hazelton's actually being benched for this game against Ottawa, who was responsible for some of those penalties, which were just taunting and unnecessary chatter. Now, I totally understand that some players have got to verbally engage opponents to get mentally in the game. I do understand that. Unfortunately, it seems that he's been crossing the line a little too much, and they're trying to reel him back in. I hope this doesn't take away from that razor edge that he plays with, but just kind of points it in the right direction. Again, there was some good stuff there. One of the things that wasn't good was the crowd. This is Hamilton, the return matchup, and there's only 17,000. I don't know where the Ticats fans were. Not that I'm complaining, because they're usually pretty obnoxious, but I was expecting a bigger crowd there at the game. Any conversation about Ottawa starts and ends with Henry Burris. There's the good Hank, bad Hank story that was running last year. This season's been a pretty steady diet of good Hank. I believe it was a career record in yardage passing last week against, was it Saskatchewan? But just lit it up there. And there's people talking about him as being the most outstanding player in the league now with Zach Collaros on the shelf for the rest of the season. A tip of the cap to former Argonaut Zach Collaros. This league is better when its best players are healthy and playing and exciting the fans. We hope he comes back for a very strong 2016, except when he's playing against the Argos. But again, back to Ottawa. Argos coming off the bye weeks, which means you've got a your longest break in the season to get healthy. A lot of the players, of course, headed out of town to go back home to visit family and friends, but also to correct all those mistakes, buff down those rough edges, and get the team focused here for this playoff stretch. As they've got a battle now. They are currently sitting third in the league behind Ottawa. A win today will result in the winning of the season series, meaning Ottawa would have to get a full game ahead of them now that Toronto would have the tiebreaker. Again, Burris is playing very, very well. That Ottawa offense is really clicking. A tip of the cap to former Argos coordinator Jason Moss, who's running the show there on offense for the Redblacks. So they've got to be aware of Peterborough native Brad Sinopoli, who's leading all Canadian receivers, I believe. Ellison's good for one big catch every game. You've got to be aware of him. And the running game has stepped up too, which of course gives Burris more time to find guys downfield. Their offense is playing very well. The defense, opportunistic. They're a bend not break, capitalizing on turnover type of defense. This is no cakewalk for the Argos. They've really got to step up, so there's got to be pressure on Burris. Bring back bad Hank is what they say. Putting pressure on Burris, so he's got to force throws. He's still incredibly accurate when he's outside the pocket, but if they can put pressure on him, then that's going to change the game. If they can stuff the run, then all the pressure ends up being on Henry Burris, who, now, again, not he ever doesn't crack under pressure, but there's those tendencies. So pressure on Burris. It's pressure, 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 pressure. I would love to see the Argos blitz more. I really, really would. I'm not a defensive coordinator. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on the game, but man, I would love to see them blitz more than just a four-down lineman. Okay. Another thing that the Argos have got to be aware of this week is the lack of Swayze Waters again. Waters, I looked like it was a shoulder injury on one return there, hitting Brandon Banks against Hamilton there 2 weeks ago. And there are reports, unconfirmed reports, that he could be gone for the season. So they're looking at a brand new kicker for kicks and punts, which has been, when Swayze is healthy, that's automatic on every account in terms of pinning the defense deep and being reliable for deep field goals. So this will be another thing that's going to influence the Argos' play. Maybe we'll see more going for two. I think I'd be a fan of that. A couple guys I want you to keep an eye on this week. One on offense will be Deontay Spencer. With the benching of Hazelton, Spencer's moving into that starting lineup. Number 85 is, to me, he's like Chad Owens Jr. Quick, really quick out of his cuts, small, agile, elusive. Just needs more time playing the game. This could be a chance for him to make a statement and really step up into that role and making things more difficult for the Argos offense coordinator in terms of trying to get the ball into his hands more often. Keep an eye on Deontay Spencer on offense. On defense, this man has been playing very, very well here in his first year in the CFL as well as with the Argos, and I'm going to try really hard not to mess up his name. I'm looking at Aguasi Awasanasa. And I apologize if I butchered that. But he's a guy that's just been a ball hawk. He's been around the ball. He's making plays with takeaways, tips from receivers, and being really physical. Had him in some return game matchups as well. He's played fantastic football this season. I'm expecting big, big things from his career, and this could be a statement game for him coming back fresh, healthy, with another week to digest that playbook. So, Spencer in number 85 on offense, and Owasanasa, number 9 on defense. Tip the cap, gents. Let's see some fun here. Bye weeks suck. They're a byproduct of having the odd number of teams in the league that every week some team is going to skip a week. And it's painful for us fans, especially us Argo fans who are losing all of our home games to what's happening in Major League Baseball, which is not a slight against the Jays. I've got a blog post about that coming up. Hopefully it'll be up before the end of the weekend. But for the trash tag this week, let's have some fun with the bye weeks. What did you do on the bye week? And we're looking for things like circling the next home game on the schedule, circling the next home/road game on the schedule. Perhaps it was getting a little bugle practice. So, trash tag, bye week at Argos End Zone. We'll see who's got the best bye week story. This week's prediction, when you do the math, Ottawa comes out on top 29-27. As I've said repeatedly, I'm never going to bet against the Argos, okay? This is a homer site. I'm not going to argue that. I believe the Argos have a chance to win every single game. They can play an all-star game, and I'd still give them an edge. Now, because of them coming off the bye week, I expect them to be healthier on both sides of the ball, and the timing to be that much better, is what I'm assuming. So that's why I'm expecting the Argos come out on top 37-21 against the Ottawa Redblacks. Bring it down, boys. 21. All right. So, it's just a shot in the dark, guys. I mean, anything could happen. That'll wrap things up here for Week 14. Hope you had some fun. As always, feel free to comment, like, share, do whatever you like with this video. Follow us on our social media channels. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You might be watching it right now on one of those. So, feel free, like, share, spread it around. Let's get some more people checking it out. All right? Speaking of checking out, make sure you check out the Argos cheerleader calendar this year. It's only $20. You can order it online. You can pick it up in person when you're at the Dome. They're more than happy to hand it over for $20, and they'll sign it for you. Trust me, they will sign it for you. In terms of the next home game, it's tough to say. The October 6th game has been bumped to Ottawa because of the Blue Jays. There's rumors that the next two could also be bumped if the Jays keep on winning. Frankly, we all hope the Jays keep winning. Just be nice to see a game in Toronto again before the end of the season. So I can't say for sure when the next game will all be together is at, but hey, let's have some fun on social media today, eh? A little bit of interaction on the Facebook and the Twitter. Heck, comment on the YouTube channel. Spread this around here during game day. Speaking of game day, it is Saturday. It is 7 o'clock. If you can't be in Ottawa, then make sure you're in front of the couch or at the bar with the buddies. And yeah, let us know where you are and where you're watching from. Let's have some fun, guys. Cheer on those Double Blue this year. This week. Always this year. Right. So, until next time, this is Drew from Section 122 on ArgosEndzone.com. Reminding you to ride the rail and we ride it.